Hey guys, I can't ever get used to the streaming Zoom with Facebook, but um, that's kind of an ugly picture behind me. I like these virtual backgrounds that I can use with Zoom. I'm not doing a commercial for Zoom, but hey, I'm Alan Thomas, and tonight is night number 17 of 90 that I'm Facebook Lives I'm doing in a row. And a little bit about my story is I was in 2017. I stepped on the scales at 304 pounds. And if you guys have heard me, you've heard this story before. And I really saw that my life was really going to be very short if I didn't do something about it. And I was stuck. That is the theme of tonight's Facebook Live. So if you've ever been stuck, so that was the best stuck picture I could find. Looked like some gum on my shoulder there, but if you've been stuck, you know how it feels. And I was stuck at 304 pounds, and I got unstuck. Committed publicly that I'd lose 129 pounds in 265 days, and I hit it in 260 days. And so I don't say that to impress you guys. I say that to impress upon you. It is possible. You have to. There's obviously work that has to be done, but it really started with me rethinking dieting, and so that is what I want to talk to you about. So if you guys have been stuck in obesity, if anybody on here is stuck, overweight, obese like I was, what got me thinking about this is a friend of Angie's and mine reached out to us last night, and she had a saying, and I won't say her name because I don't want to. She might not want this out, but she used to have a saying when we were worked in a business with her. She said people would get stuck on stupid. And I'd never heard that before. I thought it was just such a funny saying. And that was me. That really, really resonated with me when I was thinking about what to talk about tonight. But I was stuck on stupid when it came to my weight. I literally let my just weight get away from me year after year. And I didn't gain 100 pounds in a year. I gained 100 pounds over 20, 30, 40 years. And, when I committed to losing all of that weight, it was after I'd failed just tons and tons of times. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but you look for the perfect diet. I did. I looked for the perfect diet. I was always looking what was going to be the diet. And so what was the perfect diet really? It was really a way for me to put off the inevitable. It was ultimately procrastination. And in a perfect diet, because perfection really on this earth is not going to be possible. It's so at the end of the day, if you're wanting that perfect diet that you can stick to for the rest of your life, really, what are you saying? You're saying that you're willing to keep on doing what you're doing. I know I had a conversation with an individual that was morbidly obese, and this has been over a year ago, and they were looking for that perfect way to eat. And I asked them, I said, what did you have for lunch today? And this individual said, well, I went to Taco Bell. I had the number 14, whatever the number was. I don't remember, but it was like, several tacos, a sugary soda. And then I said, you have dessert? And said, yeah, I had some Kit Kats. I said, okay. Well, that makes sense to me. So they're looking for the perfect diet, but they're doing that. And I don't get into a lot of the, what you should eat and when you should eat it and all that. But come on, guys, you got to get off stupid. I had to. I had to get off stupid. So I was stuck. And it really took seeing that 304 pounds on the scale for me to get into action. And it was more about the things that I was losing. When you're 25 and you weigh 20 or 30 pounds overweight, or you're 30 and weigh overweight, you feel like you've got all this time, you've got all this there's plenty of time to get it off. But when you start going to, reaching into your 50s, and I was in the life insurance business, and, I could never remember meeting a man that was over 100 pounds overweight and 65 years old. Now I was at 65, I'm still not, but 55 years old, 129 pounds overweight. And I had to do something because I just believed I'd be dead in less than 10 years. And and so that got me unstuck. It was something that it made it urgent. It made it important. And I think about all the men that I talk to that are obese, and they're in such pain. I mean, and when I say pain, you typically think, well, physical pain, but really, that's not really the case a lot of times. A lot of times they might have some joints that hurt and different things, but the pain that they're in oftentimes is pain that is on the inside. The shame of walking to a department store, a clothing store, and having to go to the size 44, 48 pants or whatever. I did that. I mean, I wouldn't go to the 48. I did 46s, and I had those elastic waistband. And I used to be in the fine men's clothing business, which this wasn't fine clothes. These were just what we used to call seat covers. And I saved a pair of those. I ought to show them one night on a live, but they were ginormous. And when you put them on, if you're too fat for them, they'd stretch further. So it was like really wearing a 48, but you could say you were in a 46, like that's bragging. And so I'm not saying this to gross you out about my size, but you may know that you're, and I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, if you're stuck and you're in that kind of pain, there is hope. I mean, there is the same guy that wore those 46s stretched to 48s. 8 months later, stepped into his son's room, because I didn't have anything that fit me much. Stepped into my son's room, who wore like a 32, 33, 34, and I borrowed a pair of his skinny 34, 33 waist jeans, and they fit fine. I'm still wearing them. They're awesome. I haven't given them back to him, so he's looking for them. But it's it's pretty cool when you can do that, and that sounds pretty trivial when you think of all that it costs you with being morbidly obese. But those are some joys. I mean, that is fun. It's fun to know that I'm doing everything. Angie and I, we just did 3.26 miles. We're training for a 10K, and that one of my clients, Chris Porter, who is a running beast now. He's down, golly, over 100 pounds. He's crushing it, but he's working with me on getting my running skills. Running was not in my wheelhouse. And but it became important to me because I wanted to help Chris with something. And you can I posted a video about that a while back. I may bring Chris back on because he's crushing his weight loss goals. But all of this to say is it really ever about the diet? I mean, if you're stuck, are you telling me you don't know what to do? Well, I did. I knew exactly what to do. I've actually used a program that I'd failed on 4 or 5 times, but that's not the real issue. The real issue for people that are stuck where they can't lose weight is between their ears. It's thinking. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a physical fitness expert. I'm just a guy that knows the way through the wilderness of obesity because I've been there, and I've worked with several men, and it's interesting when you start looking at the things that held them back. That's the question I ask all of them, because I want to know if your weight holds you back. If it doesn't hold you back, I'm probably not your guy to help you. But if your weight holds you back, generally it's those things that are more important than, what you measure out, how much broccoli to eat or how much, of whatever not to eat. It's really something bigger a lot of times. I know one of my clients said that his weight cloaked him with invisibility. I thought that was a brilliant statement, and I can relate to that. And when you want to be invisible, when you weigh 100 or 200 pounds overweight, or even 50 pounds overweight, depending on your height, it's really, it becomes just this shame. And I mean, you become ashamed about how you look everywhere. You don't want to take your shirt off at the beach. You don't want to step up in a meeting, maybe in business or maybe at church, or you don't want to speak up because you don't want anybody to look at you. and it becomes this cycle where you feel bad about yourself. And so what do you do when you feel bad? You go eat some more. And then the next day you wake up and you're fatter than you were the day before, and you get depressed about being fatter than the day before. And later on that day and that evening, to relieve the stress, you eat some more, and you go in the cycle. And so you got to break the cycle. You got to get unstuck. So it's possible. It is. It is simple. It's not nearly as complicated as everybody wants to make out to be. $72 billion industry in the United States, and we're getting fatter and fatter and fatter. So maybe the diet isn't just the only part of the answer. Maybe it's just a small part of the answer. Maybe it's about mindset, and it's about the changes that you have to make in that regard in building a plan for the long term. Maybe it's about some of those things that you've always dreamed of, some of the, being able to go to the beach and take your shirt off, being able to step into a different version of yourself, emotionally and physically, not just getting into the 33 waist skinny jeans. That's fun, but to really rethink the whole concept. So I hope this has made sense to you guys. I feel like I ramble a lot of times, and my friends tell me I do some, but it's what I really dream of is helping 10,000 individuals, shed the shame of obesity and step into the life that they've always been destined to live. Because underneath all these individuals, that's all this overweight, obesity, there's individuals that have dreams, hopes, and desires and passions that they want to live out, and their weight holds them back. If your weight holds you back, like mine held me back, again, be encouraged. Reach out to me. Go to transformmyfuture.com/apply. You can book a free, totally free call with me. And it'll be best 45 minutes I think you've ever spent. And, let's have a conversation about it. But transformmyfuture.com/apply. You can also fat2freedom.com also takes you to the same place, and fill out a short application just so I know who you are, know a little bit about you, and grab a time on my calendar. They fill up pretty quickly, and you can go from fat to freedom. You can. I did. Other people have. Other people are doing it every single day. So again, get unstuck, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. So have a great day.